Hi, and welcome to this video giving instructions on how to successfully complete your big assignment for this week, creating a design using technology. So it is using technology, which means you don't need graph paper for this one at all. So I'm sure some of you are thrilled at that. We'll be using the computer. You have two different choices of software that you can use. And we'll be using our knowledge and skill with combining transformations in order to create our designs. So I'm not going to waste any time. Let's get into the instructions. I'm not going to go through all of these instructions in detail for you right now. Just remember that this page is right here, page 2 in the slideshow. You can always jump back here if you get stuck and figure out what your next steps are. I'm just going to jump into showing you how to do this assignment. You will be choosing a shape from this slide in order to do your first part of the assignment. And there is a little box here that says, click here to check out another choice for this assignment. The other choice you have, if you would rather not use Google Slides, is that you may use Mathagone Polypad. So there's a link there to another slide, which gives you some instructions on how to do that and a link to a Polypad that's been prepared for you already. And I'll give more detailed instructions on if you choose Polypad at the very end of this video. All right, so our next slide, and you may have to zoom out a little bit to see this. It's got some instructions on the slide. Our next slide tells us to paste our shape several times here. And then to think about translations, rotations, reflections, etc., that we can do to that shape in order to create our design. Then we want to recolor the design. So let's go pick a shape. Let's say I pick this hexagon. I'm going to copy it, and I use the hotkeys on my computer, which on a Mac is Command-C. On a PC, it's Control-C, or you can always go to your menu and click Edit, Copy, right there. So I've copied my slide, my shape. Now I go to this slide and I'm going to paste. On a Mac, the hotkey is Command-V. On a PC, Control-V. Or again, we can go to our menu, shouldn't have collapsed it, and paste. All right. Okay, so now I have my shape. And how can I perform some transformations on this shape? Well, you just saw me drag it. That's a slide, a translation. So I've just done a translation. I can move this shape around. Let's say I want to have one here, and I'll paste another copy of it. And maybe I want to have another one here. I'll paste another copy of it. I want to have another one. Let's put her there. All right. And that kind of looks a little bit like a mouse, almost. But I'm going to continue with my pattern that I was building here. Okay, so I want to keep going like this. And so I have begun to make a design. You'll keep going. Now I want to recolor. How do I recolor? Well, I click on the shapes I want to recolor. Let's say I want to recolor just this bottom row. Now I go up to this bucket that says fill color, and that tells me the color that's going to go on the inside of the shape. I don't know. I like that light blue color right there. And then I've got my border color. I don't have to have a border. I can click transparent and have no border. Or I could choose a different border color if I like this darker blue. Nope, I filled. So undo, make sure I'm on the border color, and there. So that's how I recolor my shape. All right, I'm partway there now. I've almost created a design. I need to keep going and fill the space a little bit more. There's also a link here to look at an example. So let's click on that and look at the example that I prepared. Click, go to slide 9. Here's an example of repeated transformations on a different shape. So in this case, I used the triangle. My next step after I've created my design is to explain my design. That's where we can really push ourselves to be as clear as possible, as detailed as possible, explaining our thinking, explaining what we did, using excellent math vocabulary to get our message across. You're just going to click in this box and type away. All right. Look, there's a link to an example right here. So I'm going to click and go there. So here's an example of how I explained what I did here with this design. I started with one triangle. I rotated the triangle 180 degrees clockwise about its center. I recolored the image to make it purple. I then translated the triangle, 2 triangles to the right. I repeated the translation 2 more times. I then copied all 4 rectangles because you see if you put the 2 triangles together, you get a rectangle, 4 of those. I copied and translated them all down and repeated this 3 more times. So I took this whole shape. Let me show you here. This whole shape right here. And I translated that down 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And that is how I made this design. And that is what I have described right here on this page. Okay, so now that I've done this one time, I need to go and do the second part of the assignment. And here I am on the second part. Now repeat this activity. This time, try to make a design using 2 different shapes from slide 3. Paste your chosen shape several times here, use transformations to make a design, and recolor it. So let's click to see an example of what this assignment might look like with 2 different shapes instead of using the same shape over and over again. And we have it right here. You can see this time I used the small triangle and the square. And I obviously rotated my triangles and translated them. I also then translated the entire shape 3 different times. So let's go look at my explanation of how I did this. I started with 1 square and 1 triangle. I translated the triangle up to go on top of the square. I then translated the triangle 90 degrees clockwise about its lower right vertex and translated it down to align with the right side of the square. I could have said I joined them orthogonally because I joined them on the sides, right? I rotated the first triangle 180 degrees clockwise and translated it down to join orthogonally with the bottom edge of the square. And then I rotated the first triangle 270 degrees clockwise and translated it left to align with the left side of the square. So you can see here, I started with 1 square and 1 triangle, aligned the first triangle here, rotated it 90 degrees and translated it to go here. I'll show you with my pen. So this was the first one. I did a 90-degree rotation clockwise to get to number 2, and then a translation to the right and down to get to number 2. I then went back to square number 1, or to triangle number 1, and this time I did a 180-degree rotation, and I translated straight down. And then I went back to my triangle number 1 again. This time I did 270 degrees clockwise. And then I translated to the left and down to get to this final location. So that's how I got my 4 triangles all joined orthogonally to the square. And then I repeated the design 3 times and translated the images to make 3 twinkling stars. I think it looks like twinkling stars. What do you guys think? All right, that is the instructions for how to be successful with this assignment using Google Slides. Stay tuned for the details on how to do this assignment using Mathigon. Hey, hate typing, hate writing? Why not use Mote to record yourself talking about your design and speak your explanation of your design instead? All students have access to the Mote extension through your CBE Gmail account. So you probably have Mote already installed. If not, talk to your learning coach about helping you to install the Mote Recorder extension. And I'm just going to demonstrate how to use it right now. So if that's a choice that you want to make for your assignment, you're welcome to do so. You're going to click on this little purple dot with a lovely cursive M inside of it where it says Open Mote Recorder. And now it tells me I can record my Mote. Click to start. So I'm going to do that. In my design, I started with a triangle, which I rotated and translated. Then I recolored it, and I repeated that several times to create my beautiful design. Now, obviously, you're going to do a much more extensive and way better explanation than what I just did, but I'm just doing it as a way to show you how to use Mote. So I've made my recording. I can click play to listen to it. Or if it's really bad and I want to start it again, I can click delete and start over. But I'm just going to show you how to do this. I'm going to click insert to put it in. Here we go. We've got it right down here. So maybe recording and speaking is easier for you than writing. You're welcome to use that choice. Hi there. Here's the instructions on how to create your design using the Polypad that I prepared for you in Mathigon. You can see here all the same shapes as are available on the Google Slides. And so let's just walk through quickly how you can use this tool and export your image when you're finished and then import it into Google Slides. All right, so I have set this up so you can't move these shapes, but every time you click on one and drag it, it creates a copy for you. And the beautiful thing about Mathigon is that these shapes tile for you in a lovely way. So you can see already, it's really easy to begin creating a design using just the shapes that are here. So next question, how do you recolor them? Because I know I'm supposed to recolor them as part of the assignment. So that is also super easy. Let's say I want to just recolor maybe every other one. So I click on the one I want to recolor, then I click this circle down here and pick whatever color I want. Oh, I think purple is going to look nice with that red. I click on it, pick purple, and I don't know. You could choose another color. Why not? Blue. All right. It's looking very strange. I think it would be better to maybe do it in rows, right? Like this. That feels better. Yeah. I think that's going to show off my design a little better if I do it that way. The other thing I can do is if I don't want to recolor them one by one, I can copy. So once I have highlighted a shape, and okay, let's say I want to copy this red one again, copy, and it just pastes another copy of it for me. I can drag it wherever I like. It's easier just to drag from here. If I want to copy some more purple ones, copy, and then I'm ready to just place it wherever I would like it. You can see I'm well on my way to building a design. Now let's say I screw up and I drag this guy down by accident. Uh-oh, what do I do? Well, when I'm clicked off of it, I can't really see what I can do, but when I do click on it, I see there's a little trash can with an X on it. I think it's pretty self-evident what that's going to do. It's going to delete the shape for you. So if you get too many, if you pick one by accident, you can just delete it. The other thing you can do, I just want to show you this, is this pan button. When you click on that, you can move around. So if you need more space over to one side or the other, you can pan and get the space. If you want to zoom out so that that's another way of getting more space, you click on the zoom out, or you can zoom in equally. Now, to get rid of pan, because now I'm stuck in pan, what I need to do is click on the move tool, the mouse pointer, and what it did was it deactivated pan for me. So those are the basic skills that I'm going to need to be able to complete this assignment. I'm just going to finish up my design a little bit here. And one last red, oops, that didn't tile properly. One last red hexagon. Here we go. What a pretty design. I'm ready to export this so that I can import it into Google Slides. I'm going to do that by clicking this little button that looks like a landscape picture with a down arrow on it. And when I hover over it, it says export. I click on that. And the only two files that I can import into Google Slides are either a PNG or a JPEG. So JPEGs are usually smaller. So I'm picking JPEG. That seems way smarter for me. It has downloaded that file for me. It's sitting in my downloads file folder waiting to go. So stay tuned. I'm going to show you how to import it into your Google Slides so that you can turn in your assignment. Okay, now that I've created my design in Polypad, I just need to import it into my Google Slides. So you will see in this little purple box here, there are some quick instructions to remind you, but it's really simple. I'm just going to click Insert, Image, Upload from Computer, and then what I get is a dialog box asking me to find my file. It's in my downloads folder. It's actually called create a design.jpg. And that's the great thing about exporting from Polypad. It saves your exported file with the same name that the Polypad has. So you'll be able to find yours just by looking for the file called create a design. So I just select that one and it immediately brings it in. I'm going to center it on my page here so it looks nice. And that's it. I'm done. If you're looking for a shortcut on how to do this, instead of clicking insert, you can just go right to this little button here. Nope, right to this little button here, insert image, and then select upload from computer. It's exactly the same, just a little bit quicker. So now you're all done your assignment, whether you did it directly in the Google Slides or whether you did it using Polypad to make your design, and you are ready to turn it in as long as you have completed a design with one shape and several different transformations, as well as a design made with two different shapes and a combination of transformations. If you have any questions about this assignment, make sure you ask me. Make sure you come to my extra synchronous sessions. That's exactly what they're for, is to help you if you're having problems with the assignment. A great idea is just to plan to work on this assignment during that work period, and then you'll know that I'm there to answer your questions and give you some help if you need any help. Good luck.